I was a sergeant. I had made I was on the TAC squad, which is a squad in Georgia. The tactical squad is a squad that gets together in masses, like 100, 200 people, and we raid prisons, shake down prisons, looking for contraband. So, anyways, I'm on the TAC squad. I'm a sergeant, and there was a guy that was on the TAC squad with me. He was a sergeant too. And he was like, he kept asking me to come to his neighborhood, to his town, to go party with him. He knows everybody, blah, blah, blah. At first, I was like, I always was like, nah, nah, nah. Because, they tell you when you hit Georgia, like when I hit Georgia, I was in the military. And they would tell you, yo, don't go to this town because they don't like you in these towns. Like, they still live by them back in the day type shit. So they're like, don't go here because you'll have some problems. So I kind of stayed away from shit like that. And he lived in one of them towns where they were like, you're going to have problems if you go there. You know what I'm saying? Just by you being who you are and how you act, and you're not from here. So, they'll treat you different. So I was like, all right. Anyways, he keeps asking me, yo, come to my neighborhood, whatever. Eventually, I'm like, all right, bet. I'm going to come. I was like, but you got to come pick me up. I'm not driving. So he was like, all right. Comes, picks me up. He takes me to the...
Mistake number one. I would never have somebody pick me up and take me to a place I've never been. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the fuck going on. I don't know how they get down over there. And the only way I can leave is if, you know what I'm saying, I gotta wait for you to, no. Hell no. Fuck no. I don't play them games.
To his house, we have a couple of drinks. Then he ends up like, yo, we're gonna go to my friend's bar. My friend owns the bar. We'll be good. We ain't got to really pay for nothing. We could drink for free type shit. So I'm like, all right, bet. Let's go. We go. We get in the bar. This girl that I used to mess with, she was a correction officer. I didn't know she was coming, but she ends up showing up. So when she shows up, two of the guys he introduced me to, they see me and her talking, only because I know her. So they come up to me. One of the guys comes up to me. He's like, yo, is that your girl? And I'm like, nah, that's just a friend of mine. So he was like, do you mind if I talk to her? I was like, nah, talk to her. She's not going to talk to you because I'm here. And me and her, we mess around. So I don't think she'll talk to you, but go ahead. So anyways, he starts talking to her. I go outside to smoke a cigarette.
Shorty
come back in, like the time it takes to smoke a cigarette. When I come back in, she's passed out on the table, literally in the middle of the bar, like slumped over sleep. So I'm looking, I'm like, damn. And in my head, I'm like, damn, she probably started drinking before she got here. So maybe she's a little pop. So I'm going to keep my eye on her.
Nah, somebody slipped.
The dude that took me to the bar, he comes up to me. He's like, yo, I got to leave. I got to take my wife home because she's tripping. She's bugging out. She's drunk. So I was like, all right, I'll go with you. He was like, nah, just stay here. I'll be back. So I'm like, all right. He leaves. I'm sitting there. I go to the bar. Well, I go to the table. I drink my drinks. Mind you, I wasn't paying attention to my drinks. I was talking to him, and I left my drinks at the table next to her. But she's...
Strike number two. I don't know. You don't know these fucking people. You don't know these people. Why you leaving shit around? And I mean, like, you don't know these fucking people.
Passed out. So I go and I drink my drinks. I had 2 Crown and Cokes, double fist, and I had a Corona. So I drink that, go outside, and as I'm standing out there, I start getting real lightheaded. So I light a cigarette. I'm smoking a cigarette. Next thing you know, the 2 guys, the bouncer and the guy he introduced me to, comes walking out with the girl. But she's slumped, like they're carrying her out. And I look, and I'm like, where y'all going? Oh, we're going to take her home. I'm like, what? Nah. If she was awake and, willing, like, hell yeah, I'm leaving with them, cool. But they were literally carrying her. She was asleep. I'm like, nah, y'all not taking her home. I was like, for one, I got her keys. How you going to take her home? They were like, oh, well, give us the keys. We're going to take her home. Everything's all right. She knows us. Da, da, da. I'm like, I ain't that drunk. I just know you just came up to me and asked me if you could talk to her. So I'm like, nah, if y'all leaving, then I'm leaving. And you could take us to my boy's house because they were his friends. You know what I'm saying? So they was like, all right, I jump in the car. I jump in the passenger seat, give him the keys. He starts the car. We take off. He crashes into another vehicle. The vehicle shoots off the road. Somebody ejects from the vehicle, smacks a tree, dies instantly. I don't know none of this. When we crash, the car flips a few times, rolls on his hood, whatever. So when I come to from the accident, I look around and I don't see nobody in the car. So I climb out the car and I'm sitting at the back of the car. And I don't know where I'm at. I'm in like literally in the middle of the weeds. There's no lights on this highway, nothing. So I'm just sitting there. State troopers come. I guess I kind of want to say like I was drunk because I was drinking, but I think I hit my head or something because I don't really remember everything exactly. But when the state trooper comes and the ambulance come, I see them putting somebody on a stretcher. So I look and it's the girl. And I'm like, oh shit. So I walk over to the stretcher and I'm like, yo, you all right? She was like, yeah, Rob, I'm good. I'm good. Are you all right? I was like, I'm good. I'm standing here. You in the stretcher. So the state trooper comes up and he grabs me by the arm. Now, mind you, I'm drunk. I'm used to defense mode because I'm a correctional officer. So he grabs me and I snatched away. And I was like, yo, don't fucking touch me. He grabs me again and I like spin my arm, grab his wrist, twist it back, and straight arm him. And when I straight armed him, he trips and hits the ground. So that he hops up, grabs me, oh, I'm charging you with everything, blah, 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 blah. And I get charged with everything. Got charged with DUI, homicide by vehicle, 2 counts of serious injury by vehicle, and reckless driving.
Damn.
Those were the charges that they gave me. I wake up the next day, literally in a jail cell. And I'm thinking in my head, like, oh, they playing with me. Because we used to do that. The correctional officer, we used to, like, obviously you're going to remember, but we used to lock each other in cells and shit to, get a kick out of it, whatever. So I wake up and I'm thinking, like, these motherfuckers locked me in this damn cell. So I go to, it's like in Georgia, they got like a little buzzer on the wall in the county jail where you can hit the buzzer and they come on the speaker and be like, yeah, what you want? So I hit the buzzer and they come over and I'm like, yo, what am I doing here? And the lady, she's like, are you serious? I was like, yeah, why the fuck am I in the cell? And she was like, oh man, I can't tell you. You got to wait till the investigators come. So I was like, okay. The guy that I was with that night, he knew everybody in the area. So he comes, he brings my baby mother down there. I'm not supposed to see nobody until the investigator comes. But because he knows them, they let him and my baby mom come in and see me. So I look and I'm like, what happened? She was like, you don't know what happened? I was like, I don't remember. What happened? She was like, you killed somebody. I was like, what? She was like, yeah, you killed somebody. I looked her right in her face and I was like, you know what? You might as well forget about us and everything. She was like, what you mean? I said, they're going to lock me up for life for this. And then, she was just like, are you serious? I said, yo, they're going to lock me up for life. I was like, I'm in Georgia. I'm in the middle of the trees. I'm not getting out of this. There's no way. I'm not that cool with these people. You know what I'm saying? So that's what they ended up doing. They ended up charging me with all them charges. I went to trial. Well, I went to court on and off for 3 years. I was out on bond. They let me bond out, which was weird, but they let me bond out, and I was cool with that. Bonded out, was on the street for about 3 years, and then they finally came to me and was like, look, we're gonna go to trial. If you lose the trial, you're gonna do 37 years.
Damn. 37? Damn. And he said he was in the passenger seat. He wasn't even driving. And this is the shit, like, when you get involved in certain things and, people be like, oh, don't snitch and don't snitch and don't snitch. And, man, listen, this shit is crazy. And he wasn't even no street nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, that, I get it from a street nigga standpoint, but he ain't no fucking street nigga. So it sounds like he about to eat this motherfucking charge. So I don't know how this shit turned out, but we gonna find out.
I could try to get you a plea. If we get you a plea, you're better off taking the plea. So I'm just sitting there like, damn, this is crazy.
Should have plea probably 15.
So I'm like, all right, well, what's the plea? They was like 15 do 14.
Look, what'd I tell you?
I'm like, how the fuck is that a plea? I never heard of that type of split sentence in my life. 15 do 14 years. So I was like, is that the best you could do? They was like, that's the best we could do. If not, we're going to trial. You're going to do 37. What you want to do? I said, man, give me the 15. So they gave me 15. 15 served 14.
What was that first conversation with the investigators like?
Well, when he comes in, it was a state trooper. He comes in and he's like, He pulls me out. We go into the little interview room, and he's like, so do you remember what happened? And I was like, I remember bits and pieces, but I can't tell you for sure. He was like, who was driving? I was like, I don't know his name. I knew his name, but I'm not going to tell you that.
There you go.
Like, I really feel like, I don't know why it might sound stupid. Some people might be like, yo, you're dumb as hell. But I just live by that code. I don't get paid to do your job. You get paid to figure out what happened and who was what and where. So I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to help you figure it out. You know, I knew I wasn't driving, so I was like, there's no way I could get convicted. I know.
And that's the problem. That's the problem most people have, right? Now, I'm not saying he should have told. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is people believe like the fucking legal system is like for them. It's not, my niggas. It's not. Especially if you look like one of us. Shit ain't for us, bro. You dig what I'm saying? You was at the scene. Pardon me. You was at the scene. You was in the car. That's all they give a fuck about. That's enough. That is enough for them to make this shit look the way they want it to look. It's enough. You dig what I'm saying?
No, I wasn't driving. So I'm like, I don't know his name. I just met him that night. And it was just like, what they introduced me to is, this is my boy. And he was like, what'd he look like? I was like, I don't remember. You know, I didn't give him shit. But he's telling me, he said, yo, at the end of the day, since you don't know nothing, then you're the one who's going to go down for this.
Pretty much.
Are you willing to do that? I was like, there's nothing I could tell you. Like, if that's what we're doing, then let's go. We're going to trial. You know? And I'm like, I know I'm going to win. I wasn't driving. It didn't work out like that, though.
So he never got charged?
Goofy.
Nope.
Wow, you really took the bullet for him.
I did.
Could you have turned him in? Did you have enough
I could have.
information?
I knew his name. I knew exactly what he looked like.
I've never heard of someone being a passenger getting charged with a manslaughter and a DUI.
Yep.
But they pegged you because you were already out of the car.
Because I was there.
Whoa.
Pause.
What the fuck, man? Use your words wisely, brother. What the fuck? Pegged you is crazy. Like, I'm not mature enough for that type of shit.
There, and I didn't tell them who was driving. Because when they pulled up, they were like, who was driving? Because I wasn't even in the car.
You're already outside.
So you can't charge me. I wasn't even in the car. You know what I'm saying? And that was my mentality. Like, there's no way I'm gonna get charged with this.
What happened to the female correctional officer? She didn't snitch either?
Nah, she there's a video I got in my transcripts and everything. I got a video where she mentioned the guy's name. Like, she was in the video and they're like, yo, was Rodriguez driving, blah, blah, blah. She's like, no, you don't need to be asking him nothing. He wasn't driving. You need to ask this guy. And she said his name in the video. And the guy was like, no, we're not worried about him. We're worried about Rodriguez.
So what did your lawyer say about this?
Damn.
You see, the funny thing about it is I didn't know any of this until I went to prison. I was in probably, I want to say 2 years already. And I run into a lawyer who was in prison with me, who was a real lawyer on the street. And he's like, yo, you seem like a cool guy, what happened? Why are you here? So I'm like, well, I got in an accident, whatever. He was like, man, you should request to get your transcripts. And, I was green. I didn't know what that was. I'm not going to lie. So I'm like, what was that? And he's like, oh, you get your transcripts. It tells you everything about your case, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, I do it. And he's like, let me go through it. And let me see if I can find something that'll help you get out of here. For free. He didn't charge me. He didn't even want nothing from me.
And this is furthermore proving my point where I said these motherfucking investigators and these detectives and shit, they don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck, son. Shorty literally told them old boy's name, who was driving and all that, and they still didn't give one fuck. They still charged this nigga for it, put him in jail and all that. I'm telling you, man, this system don't give a fuck about us at all.
We were bunkmates. So he was just like, I just want to look out for you. You're a cool dude. So I was like, all right. He looks through it. There's a stack like this talking about nothing but cocaine.
What?
In my transcripts. And I'm like, what the fuck are they talking about cocaine for? I don't do drugs. So he was like, well, somebody did. And he's looking through it, kind of find out the driver of the other vehicle that we hit was high on cocaine. So I'm like, so I'm drunk. Okay. They're high on cocaine. Why am I the only person in prison? You know what I'm saying? Like, who's to determine whose fault it was?
Right.
I'm drunk as hell. She's on cocaine. It was a female. I'm like, so who's to determine that? So now I'm like, I want to fight my shit. So then he starts looking through all the pictures and everything and the way the seat in the car was set up. He was like, there's no way you drove that car and walked away without even a steering wheel mark, nothing. He was like, there's no way. Look at the seat was literally like L-shaped, sitting straight up. Because the guy that was driving was shorter than me. So he was like up on the wheel. So I'm like, okay, that's another point. So anyways, he just goes through my whole thing. So I start putting appeals in, did a habeas corpus, get to the highest court, to the federal court. I spit my case. The judge literally, it's in my transcript. The judge looks at me. I never heard of this before in my life. The judge looks at me and he's like, Mr. Rodriguez, you proven that you weren't the driver. But because you accepted responsibility and accepted the plea, I'm going to let you finish your prison sentence.
Damn.
Never heard of that in my life. That's exactly what that judge told me. And I was like,
wow. Wow. That is fucking crazy. That is wild, son. So he proved that he wasn't the driver. He proved it wasn't him, and he still had to sit. Yo, this legal system is fucking nuts.
like, damn, ain't this a bitch? So I guess because I said, I took the plea and I admitted, guilt or whatever, he let me finish the rest of my sentence.
What was that first conversation with your job like after you got released on bail?
Oh, man. I went in to see the warden at the time, and the warden looks at me. He's like, yo, Sarge, I don't know what to tell you. He was like, look, you always got a job here, but you got to beat this case. If you beat this case, come on back. He was like, but if you don't, he was like, right now I can't keep you on because you're facing these charges.
That's
so he was like,
up.
But if you beat it, come on back. You come back, you got your position, whatever. And it was just like, even when I went to prison. So, when I first hit the county jail was sweet. I'm not going to lie. It was sweet. I was like, damn. But because they knew at the county jail that I was a correctional officer, the sergeant comes up to me one day. They had me in PC. They locked me down in PC, because they knew I was a correctional officer. I had to talk to them about that later on, but they come to me. He's like, yo, would you want to work outside? And I'm like, what you mean, doing what? He was like, yo, I'll put you on outside detail working at the sheriff's office. You just clean up, clean the bathrooms, wash the cars, whatever. He was like, I already talked to the sheriff. He's cool with it. We know you were a correctional officer, blah, blah, blah. He don't mind. So I'm like, all right, bet. I go out there, working out there. Oh my God. It was an old school that they were like, the police station and the sheriff's department was, because their actual building was getting remodeled or whatever. So we're in an old school in Jessup, Georgia. And where they had me, nobody could see me. Nobody came to check on me. Nobody monitored me, nothing. I did whatever the fuck I wanted. So at first I was just sending my money to the jail, going to the store, making store call. So the sheriff comes to me. He's like, don't send your money to the jail, man. He was like, have your people bring your money here, cash. And whatever you want, just take one of the unmarked cars and go to the store and get what you want. I was like, what?
What?
He was like, yeah. He was like, you want McDonald's, whatever, just go to the store. He said, matter of fact, I'm going to buy you a grill. I'm going to put a little fridge in there, TV. He's like, if you want, go to Walmart, buy some meat, grill out. Like, I was free. But I was, in the county jail. That's how my county jail stay was. I did that for 4 months. He didn't want me to leave, the sheriff. He was like, I don't even want you to go to prison. I wish I could keep you here your whole sentence. And I was like, shit, I wish you could too. But it didn't work out like that.
Tell us about day one as a correctional officer that's found themselves in prison. What was that conversation like within?
That's wild, son. I ain't never heard no shit like that. Like, I've heard stories of correctional officers going to prison, but I've never heard no shit like that. I've heard of like other correctional officers like being pause. I've heard of correctional officers being tougher on them because it's like, yo, you make us look bad. You know what I'm saying? Because people think COs is corrupt and all this other shit, and you actually did some bullshit that landed you in here, so they kind of like tougher on them. I ain't never heard no shit like that. That's kind of crazy.
Inmates, everything.
Well, nobody knew I was a correctional officer. The inmates didn't. Like, the officers did. So finally, like, as my time in the county jail was going, I was like, yo, I told the sheriff, I said, man, they got me in the box. Like, they got me in the hole. I don't want to be in the hole, man. He was like, oh, well, this for your protection. I said, I understand that, but I'm not scared. I don't care. Like, can you put me in population, man? Like, I'm in a room. I'm out here free all day, but when I go back, I'm locked in the fucking room, sitting there by myself looking like a retard. Like, I don't want to live like that. So they ended up putting me in population. I get in population and I just became cool with dudes. Like, I didn't tell people, obviously. Like, yeah, I used to be a CO, da-da-da-da-da. You know what I'm saying? But one of the guys I got real cool with, he ended up finding out. Like I said, they all know each other in that area. All the sheriff deputies know the inmates. They all grew up together. So somebody ended up telling them, like, yo, you know, that used to be a correctional officer. You chilling with him, blah, blah, blah. Be careful type shit. So he ended up coming up to me. He was like, yo, I heard you was a correctional officer. I was like, yeah. I was like, wow, what's up? Now I'm thinking like, we about to fight. It's about to go down. But he was like, man, I'm not worried about that shit. You cool as hell with me. And that was my first experience with that. It was never, honestly, the scariest part was when I went to prison. But the county jail, that was sweet. There was no issues at all.
Yeah,
I really didn't have issues in prison, but it was scary. Like my first walking into reception, it's a prison in Georgia called Jackson State Prison. That's the reception prison. Everybody goes there before you get sent to the prison you're going to do your time at. Walking in there as an inmate was scary as shit. Because they all pull into the parking lot. They get you out the van. They take your shackles off and everything, and they give you your property, and they say, wait here until somebody comes and calls you. So everybody is just walking around the parking lot. All types of inmates just walking around the parking lot. Don't matter your charge. They don't put you in a certain section like, oh, you got these charges, you're over here. No, everybody is just walking around this parking lot until they come out and holler your name, and then you go. You know what I'm saying? So that was kind of scary. I'm like, damn, I just stood next to the van with my back to the van. Like, I don't want to run into somebody that's going to recognize me, you know, because I don't got nothing on me but my hands. You know what I'm saying? And if one,
yeah, shit get real, son. Shit get real. That's why I be telling all these young niggas, man, ain't no guns in prison, my nigga. Ain't no guns in there, nigga. If you can't fight, you fucked.
one say something, you already know. And, yo, that dude there, he used to be, you know what I'm saying? And it's going to go down. So that part was scary. I'm not even going to lie. I was just standing there, just watching everybody, looking around like, damn, who's going to recognize me? Who's going to say something? Even the officers, like a lot of the officers didn't give a shit. They would come up, oh shit, Rodriguez, what you doing? You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, yo, shut the fuck up, bro. So yeah, that was scary. And that was the first time like I felt like, that's when it started hitting me like, damn, this is what they felt like. You know what I'm saying?
I'm surprised they left you in Georgia prisons because you knew the system, you knew the staff. You know, I feel like you could have used that to your advantage.
That's kind of true.
I did. Oh, I did. Hell yeah, I did. And I used it to my advantage by, I wouldn't tell people that I was a CO, but I know your job. I know everything you got to do. So that's how I would get the females to bring me shit in.
Give us an example of how you.
So the first
system.
time, like, I forgot. I think I was at Augusta State Medical Prison. That's where I was at. Augusta State Medical Prison. And at this time, I was still under the radar. But I had became a Latin King when I was at Hayes State Prison. That was the first prison I hit besides Jackson. You know, I hit Hayes and I met this dude. He was from the Bronx. We knew the same people. We knew the same neighborhoods. He didn't know I was a correctional officer though. But we ended up locking in because I'm like, yo, I got your back. Like, we from New York. We not from here, so I got you. Whatever happens, it's me and you. And he seen that. And he was a high-ranking Latin King. So he was like, yo, I want you to be my number 2. Because he was like, I don't trust these dudes down here. You know what I'm saying? Like, we from up top. We different. So he was like, I want you to be my number 2. I ended up becoming his number 2.
Don't they do some due diligence or anything?
All he did, his due diligence was, you got my back, I got your back. We walk to the yard together. We go to chow together. People say something. I see how you react. There was no jumping in for me. I didn't get jumped in. I didn't have to pay nothing. I didn't have to pay no dues, none of that. It was just like, yo, you got my back, I got yours. He made some phone calls.
That's wicked.
And they stamped me as his number 2. So when he ended up getting transferred, he was like, yo, you got the throne now. It's all yours. And then,
hey, yo, real talk, that shit is a lot. It's a lot more common than people think. As far as a motherfucker that ain't never been in no gangs, ain't never been a part of nothing, like none of that type of shit. But when they go to prison, niggas get down with something. You dig what I'm saying? Just to have that protection, of just to know they, if something go down here, I got some people that'll rock with me type shit. It's crazy. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, God forbid I ever have to do a bid. Pardon me. You know, God forbid. I pray I'm never in that. I'm never in that situation. You know what I'm saying? But I know for a fact, like for me, I'll be straight. You dig what I'm saying? Because I'm Muslim. You know what I'm saying? And I know there's Muslims in every fucking prison. So you know what I'm saying? I'll be straight on that. And I know a lot of people that go to prison and became Muslim in prison just for that type of shit. But you see, that shit is a lot more common than you think. You know what I'm saying? People go to prison, they become Muslim, they become blood, they become Crip, they become fucking white supremacists and all that. I mean, Aryan Brotherhood and all. Like, they do that shit literally just for protection. You dig what I'm saying?
my name just started ringing bells from like, yo, that's the head of the Latin Kings. That's the head of the Latin Kings. And it was sweet after that. Like,
They never found out you're a correctional officer?
not once. This interview here is going to let them know.
But wouldn't the
Damn.
corrupt guards just say, hey, yo, you know the guy you're fucking with is a cop?
Nobody did that.
Dude, that's crazy.
Nobody. And I was fortunate. I'm not, because they would have killed me. Let's not get it confused. Them boys in Georgia give it up. They give it up. I've seen some of the craziest stabbings. Oh my God. I've seen some crazy shit in there.
As an inmate.
As an inmate and as an officer.
So tell us the craziest thing you've witnessed as an inmate then.
The craziest thing I ever seen as an inmate, I seen a dude get his whole head split. Like, it looked like mush.
Damn.
For a soup, a 39-cent soup. Dude owed somebody a soup and he didn't give it to him. So back then, I was at Hayes. They had the mop bucket with the metal ringer. You know, where you pull the ringer off of the mop bucket. And he's standing there, he's arguing with the dude. They next to the door. The female's in the booth looking at him. I'm sitting on the bench watching like, oh shit, they about to get it on. Arguing about a soup. Dude picks the ringer off the bucket and just starts beating this dude in the head with it.
Shit.
I'm talking about by the time he got done, it just looked like he killed him. He was dead, but it looked like mush, like red, like I don't even know how to explain what brain looks like when it's just mushy on the floor. That was crazy. I was like, oh my God. Right there, I was like, there's no way I'm making it 15 years in here. Like, somebody's gonna figure it out. Somebody's gonna get me. But I never got found out.
That's so interesting that you actually became a Latin king in prison.
Because, you know, where I'm from, you know, like my brothers and all them, they became a neighborhood set, you know, and they would always be like, oh, you part of the team, you know, you family, da, da, da. And I would always tell them, nah, I'm not, fuck that. I'm not a part of nothing. I'm me. And I always stood on that. I never wanted to join a gang. I never wanted to be a part of nobody's shit. I always wanted to be me. But in that position in prison where I ain't got nobody, I'm in Georgia, I don't know nobody. Hell yeah. You want me to be a king? Let's go. I'll be that. Because I'm going to make it through this shit now.
Now, did you look the way you look now, like with the tattoos and?
Nah. When I first went to prison, I probably had like 8 tattoos. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, as time goes, you know, I'm like, yo, there's a raw tattoo guy. Yo, come here, let me da-da-da. Next thing you know, I literally got covered like from my neck all the way to my toes.
What was that feeling
Damn.
like being on the other end of being an inmate, being stripped out for that first time?
Oh, man.
Doing the squat and cough, all of that.
Oh, man.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie to you. The first time I ever was arrested, man, and I had to fucking dress out and all that shit. Yo, son, that shit is so fucking dehumanizing, son. It's fucking insane. I hated that feeling. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I've done my fair share of dirt, but luckily I've never been caught for it. I've never had to do no real life prison time. I've only been in the county. But that shit is so dehumanizing. And then to learn that these men have to go through this every time they gotta go to a visit, every time they come back from a visit, anytime they leave the fucking facility and come back to the facility. Like, it's so fucking dehumanizing, son. It's wild, son. That shit is so dehumanizing.
When I hit, well, in the county jail, you go through it, but it's not bad because it's one-on-one. They take you in the bathroom, the officer strip. He really ain't paying attention. He don't want to look. So it was cool. When I got to reception, that's when it's 30 of us standing in the room in a circle, and they like strip. And I'm just standing there like, huh? Like strip down to your boxers. That's what I thought I heard him say. So I stripped to my boxers. I'm the only motherfucker standing there in my boxers. And the dude looks at me, one of the COs, he comes up to me, he's like, you don't speak English? I was like, yeah, I speak English. He was like, take your fucking boxes off then, stupid. That just felt like, wow. So this is what it feels like.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? As a man, like, you being talked to and treated like that. That's when my whole thought process about being a correctional officer just changed. Right there on that day, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give them everything they want from me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I went back to like, I'm going back to the street with it. Like, I'm gonna treat them the way I treated the inmates. That's how I'm gonna treat the officers now. Like, we're gonna be on that level. And that's what I did. Like, I was like, no respect at all for them. I was very fortunate for them never to put their hands on me though. And then when I became the head of the Kings at the time, they were so scared of me. The officers, they were so scared of me because I never moved with less than 10 people. There was 2 reasons though. One, because I didn't want to get killed in there. And 2, because I'm going to show you what I can do to you now. You know what I'm saying? Like, now I felt like now I got the power again, but in this world, I'm not on your team now. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I moved. I always moved with a squad of people. We all had razors. I showed them how to use the razor in the mouth.
How do you use the razor in the mouth?
Well, they give you the little Bic razor, the little single razor. You just pop it off and set it on the side of your cheek right here, outside of your teeth, and your tongue does the work. You could just grab it with your tongue, spit it out. It's easy. You do cut yourself sometimes, like when you first start learning. When I started learning in New York, it was the double edge razor, and you just put it in your mouth, and your tongue just does the work for you. Like when you grab it, it just falls on your tongue, and you just like you're about to spit, and the razor comes out, and you grab that motherfucker and go to work.
What was the most interesting thing you learned as an inmate that you didn't know as an officer?
There's some very intelligent ass people in prison, man. I seen dudes make a microwave out of aluminum foil. Like, the fan, you buy the little white fan, they cut the back of the cord from the fan, connect it to aluminum foil, plug it in, and it heats up the aluminum foil. That was crazy. The water bugs, where you get 2 pieces of metal, get a piece of plastic, set the 2 pieces of metal on it, tie it up, get your fan, cut the cord, connect the wires to the metal, drop it in the water, plug it in, and it boils the water. You cook the food. They so damn intelligent. I didn't know you could you could catch a spark from a pencil and a razor. You know how you take the pencil, you connect the razor to it, plug it into the wall, you grab the other piece of some wire with the other razor, and you tap it against the lead of the pencil, and it creates a spark. That was crazy as hell. I didn't know you could do that. I'm like, yo, you guys are fucking intelligent as hell. Now I'm in here.
Listen, I ain't gonna hold you. I compare that to. It's no comparison, but I could see the similarities when I was in the military. When you go out to the field and you go on deployments and all of this type of shit, you got to figure out like the comforts that we're used to. you don't have them shits everywhere. You dig what I'm saying? So you have to figure out how to reinvent those comforts. And in prison, I believe that's what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? They're used to certain comforts being outside in the free world that they have to figure out a way to reinvent them shits while being inside. Listen, man, the mind is a powerful thing, man. You think of shit, you start thinking of shit that you never even thought of before. You dig what I'm saying? And I've heard stories of people that have been to prison that did lengthy, you know what I'm saying, prison sentences that you hear these shits and I'm like, how did y'all even think of that shit? Even now, you see videos on social media and it's like, yo, how do they think of this shit? You feel what I'm saying? Like, it's pretty genius, some of the shit they come up with.
I'm seeing it. So I'm like, damn. Because, they stopped cigarettes and all that in Georgia in like 2010. So I'm like, how the fuck are y'all even smoking? And that's when I started like catching on and shit. So back to what I was saying with the first officer I caught. It was a female. And I didn't really come out the dorm. Like my name was already known in the gangland, so nobody bothered me. I was all to myself. So I come out the dorm one day because my man's is like, yo, come to the chow hall. Because once a month they give you baked chicken in Georgia. Just once a month. The whole quarter leg. So they're like, yo, come to the chow hall, get your chicken and bring it back. We're going to make a big meal. So I'm like, all right, fuck it, I'll go. I didn't go to the chow hall. I ate out my box. Reason being, like I said, I never wanted to be in a position where somebody would recognize me and I end up getting wet up. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, nah, I'm not a chow hall person. Like, my mother used to send me money. My brothers, my family took good care of me for the first couple of years of me being locked up. So I always ate out my box. It was always soups and chips and sausages, all that. Anyways, they're like, yo, come to the chow hall. So I'm like, all right, go to the chow hall. I get my chicken. But when I come out the dorm, this little female, she's standing there. She looks at me and she's like, oh, hell nah. And I'm like, they never heard me talk or nothing because I didn't talk to them or none of that. I was like, what happened? She was like, oh, shit, say that again? Now, we in the middle of Georgia in the country. I'm like, what happened? She was like, oh, you're not from down here, are you? I was like, nah, I'm from New York. She was like, I ain't never seen you come out the dorm. What's going on? I was like, no, I'm about to go get this chicken. Trying to like just have a general conversation because now I know. Since you're so interested in me, set aside from everybody else, now I know you see something that you might like. So I'm going to use that. And I started talking to her and I'm like, yo, I'll be back. Let me go get this chicken. So I go get the chicken. I come back. She's like, why the hell are you going up there getting that shit? So I'm like, why, you going to bring me something to eat? She was like, what you want? I was like, for real? She was like, yeah, what you want? I was like, yo, bring me a double cheeseburger. I don't care where it's from. Just bring me a double cheeseburger. But what she don't know that I know is once you bring me anything that you're not supposed to give me,
you're cooked.
That is state issued, I got you now.
Yeah, I'm on your ass now.
You belong to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to eventually tell you this.
Mm-hmm.
But not right now because I want you to keep bringing me shit. So she brought me a whole meal from Burger King, I think. And she hit the button of the door. She clicked the door. She was like, tell Rodriguez, come here. I come out there. I'm like, what's up? She was like, yo, go to the thing, like the little flap for the booth, the little box that they slide shit out. I go to it, I open it up, and I got Burger King. So I just look at it. I don't say nothing. I just like, all right, walk off, go into the dorm, eat my Burger King. So that day before her, shift change, she comes in to count, and then she stops in my little area because we were in a dorm where it was like a bunch of bunk beds. It wasn't a cell house. And I always would have my shit curtained off. Like I would put the sheets up and shit. So she comes in, she walks, like I had the little line from bed to bed to put the sheets. She comes up under the line. I'm like, yo, what you doing? She was like, I know you got a phone. I was like, come on, man, get out of here. I ain't got no phone. She was like, let me get your number. I was like, I ain't got no phone. I don't know really yet what was going to happen. So I'm like, I ain't got no phone. She was like, man, I know you got a phone. Give me your number. I'm going to hit you up when I get home. I was like, you for real? She was like, yeah. So I gave her my number. Just like that. Later on, she was like, I'm going to hit you from a blocked call, so answer it. But at the same time, I'm like, damn. What if she got my number to go to the people and they call me? So when she ended up calling, I didn't answer at first. I was telling my man, I was real tight with one of the top blood dudes in there. Dude was over the Sex Money Murder Bloods of Georgia. He was one of the top dogs. And me and him got real close. So I'm sitting there telling him, like, yo, twin, yo, I think that's her calling. He was like, man, be careful, bro, because what if it's them boys that you know they're going to come running in here, they're going to get all our shit. I'm like, damn. But she kept calling, I said, fuck it, I'm going to answer it, bro. If they come in, they come in. We just lose the phone. I answer it. It's her. We start talking, we chopping it up. At first, you know, I'm hitting her with the thought of us actually dating and being together, you know, telling her everything a prison dude was going to tell a female. But then eventually I'm like, yo, you know, we can make a lot of money in here. And she was like, what you mean? I was like, yo, check it. I was like, I could buy a can of loose tobacco from Walmart for $30. I make 9 packs of cigarettes out of that one can. I sell the cigarettes for $200 a pack in here.
Damn.
So I'm like, do the math. Off of $30, I'm selling a can, 9 packs for $200 a pack.
Damn.
From $30 to $1,800. I'm like, you don't even make that in your check.
Fuck no.
And she looked at me. She was like, how you know how much I make? Obviously, I didn't tell her, but I'm like, man, I know how much you make. You don't think we know how much I make in here? You probably bring home every 2 weeks, 15, maybe. Your rank ain't giving you money. You're not on the squad. You're not doing nothing. You're just a regular officer. I can make $1,800 in one day. And the more you bring me, the more I can make. We'll split it down the middle. I was like, it's tax-free. You're going to get paid. I know your baby daddy, you know, I just bringing shit up. I know your baby daddy don't take care of you. Because why would you be working here if he took care of you? You know what I'm saying? So I just hit her with it. Next thing you know, she was like, well, how do I do it? I was like, yo, I'm gonna have somebody bring it to you already wrapped up. You know, vacuum seal it, black tape it. All you got to do is put it on your stomach. When you put your vest on, it'll be there. And you just walk in the gate. That's it. They're not going to think nothing. She was like, you sure? I'm like, yeah, just try.
Hey, yo, no bullshit. My lady used to be a CO in South Carolina when she was in South Carolina. And they tell you this type of shit in the training, like, be careful talking to these niggas, be careful being friendly with these niggas. They will try to manipulate you and do this, I mean, the mind games and all of that type of shit. They train you for this type of shit. But the fact that she sought this shit out is kind of, you know what I'm saying? It's a different scenario. She wasn't even manipulated. She sought the nigga out. You dig what I'm saying? So the nigga just took advantage of it. Listen, when you in that position and you locked down and you gotta, you know what I'm saying, you gotta do what you gotta do, you get resourceful, my nigga.
Hey, just try one can. Because one can comes in, it's literally this big. So I'm like, that ain't shit. She brought me the can. And right there in my head, I'm like, I got you now. You belong to me now.
Mm-hmm.
So every time I want something, you're going to bring it to me. And at first, she was like, oh my God, I was so scared. I was so nervous, but I liked the rush.
Typical.
And that was it.
I can't believe you flipped a correctional officer.
Easy. I used to, every prison I went to after Augusta, I flipped officers. I flipped nurses. I had a nurse. I flipped a nurse without even knowing I was flipping her.
Did you ever sleep with the officers?
Yeah. We used to go to the barbershop. I used to literally, I'd be sitting in the barber's chair, just drop my pants to my knees right here, just in case, you know, somebody come, I could just snatch them up. So I would just pull my pants down to here, and I'd be like, yo, just hop on and just ride out. Once I get my shots or whatever, we out. So yeah, hell yeah. I had one so deep. We made a lot of money though. She was bringing me phones. She was bringing me cigarettes. She was bringing me Jordan sneakers. I'm like, how the fuck are you getting these sneakers in here? But she was on the tax squad. So she had a little bit more leeway. Literally, pair of Jordans, Jordan slippers, had polo drawers, polo socks. I was, man. I don't have the Facebook no more because when I was locked up, the warden actually found my Facebook. So he reported it and they shut it down. But if I would have showed you the pictures, like I got pictures in my phone of me being in prison, me being in population, standing with a bunch of guys that you know what I'm saying? And I keep them just to show people like, yo, I was there. I was in population. That's not protective custody. Yeah, I ran that shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, since I started talking about my story, that's the reason I keep them. So you can't come and be like, oh, you wasn't that, you wasn't this, you lying, you bullshit. Nah, look, that shit right there show you. I was in prison. I was there. I'm throwing up the crowns. I got dudes kneeling beneath me, holding up the yellow and gold flag with the crown on it. Like, yeah, I got them pictures. That's proof. I you know what I'm saying? I got people.
How easy is it for a correctional officer to get a phone in to prison?
When I started doing,
hold up. This is the type of shit. This is the type of shit that excites the younger niggas. You dig what I'm saying? This is the type. Matter of fact, the video I posted the other day with the whole Mike Epps situation, this is what he was talking about. This is what he was talking about. This is the shit that it gets the young niggas get excited about this type of shit. This is what make them feel going to prison is like a badge of fucking honor because of the weight. You see how excited he was when he spoke about it? Like, nah, nigga, I was there. Nigga, I was, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the type of shit that's how the young niggas feel. You know what I'm saying? When they get wrapped up in all this street shit, go to prison, and they take that shit as a badge of honor. You know what I'm saying? Like, they glorify it. You dig what I'm saying? I don't know why that shit just came to me. Like, you could see it in him when he's telling a story like this. This shit is like a badge of honor, but not really realizing, nigga, you pretty much you fucked over 15 years of your life. You feel what I'm saying? But just a way to think about it.
This is how I did it. Now I don't think they could do it no more like this, but this is how I did it. So I'm talking to the girl, to the tax squad girl that I bagged, and I'm like, yo, listen, I know when you come in the gate, they don't make you put your drink through the machine. When you come through the metal detectors, you put your bag through the machine, and then you put your drink on the side. You walk through, then you grab your drink, but you don't come through the metal detector. You know what I'm saying? It's like you walk through, you grab your drink and keep walking. I'm like, I know they don't make you put your drink in there. So this is what I want you to do. Go to 7-Eleven, get you the big gulp cups. And I was like, I'm going to buy the little, at the time, it was the $30 Walmart phones. The little touchscreen joints, like the 3G ones when they first came out, they were like $30 at Walmart. So I'm like, I'm going to buy like 3 or 4 phones, wrap them up, put them in your cup, and put ice on top of them because they're going to be wrapped. And I was like, and just come in and put your drink and walk through. She was like, you think it'll work? I said, I promise you it's going to work. They don't make your cups go through the metal detector or the little monitor where they look to see what's in your bag. Mm-hmm. They don't do that. At that time, they weren't. So I'm like, just put it there and bring it in. Next day, she comes in. She goes to the booth. In the back of the central station is the barbershop, and then it's the spot where we get ice for the dorms. She clicks the door. I come out. She's like, yo, go get ice. I go to the ice machine, open it up, phone sitting right there. Had like 4 or 5 phones in a stack sitting in the ice. I grabbed them, walked in the dorm. Boom, connected them through Verizon, the prepaid joint, $30 a month, and I would sell the phones. I'm buying the phones for $30 a pop. I'm selling them for $400.
That's it?
$400, yeah.
Dude,
at
we
that
were buying
time,
phones for like $1,500, $2,000.
Yeah, eventually it got to that. But this, when I first started, this was in like 2000, when the phones in Georgia first started getting into the system. This was probably like 2000 and I want to say like 12. Like that's when we had the flip phones coming in, and then when the touchscreens came out, that's when I was getting a little. But I was selling for like $400 or $500 a pop. And to me, I'm like, shit, I'm living. I'm buying a $30 phone and selling it. But eventually, it got to $1,500, $2,000. You know what I'm saying? Like when the real touchscreens, iPhones, I'm selling an iPhone for like $3 because it's an iPhone.
Damn, son. Damn. $3 for a motherfucking phone is crazy. But I'm gonna break this shit up into 2 parts because it's like an hour and some change long. But I'm gonna end this one right here. You know what I'm saying? I'll let me tomorrow for part 2. We're gonna do part 2. But yo, this story is kind of crazy, man. It's crazy. It's crazy how somebody can be living a decent life, and in a blink of a fucking eye, now you in this situation. Now you in jail for 15 fucking years, and became a criminal overnight. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's wild how life works, man. That's why I tell all my young boys, man, stay out the way, man. Stay prayed up and, you know what I'm saying, try to live as righteous as possible, man, because that shit can change like that. You dig what I'm saying? But before y'all go, you already know, man, I'm gonna need you to like, comment, subscribe, share the video, notification bell, all that good shit, man. I'll catch you on the next one.